what is, if you had only one tip, only one piece of advice, that secret sauce that you could give to business owners for success, what would that be?
Well, as we were talking about, I've got a lot of number ones, but the one I'm really focused on right now, Christine, is around pricing. And it's interesting. If you look at the 4 P's of marketing, and marketing is clearly the function that I identify in the book, Scaling Up, that is most critical if you want to grow the business. And so if you look at the 4 P's of marketing, product, price, place, and promotion, price is the only one that makes you money immediately. The others, you actually have to spend money in order to make money.
Right.
And if you look at the unicorns, let's take the wealthiest guy on the planet, Jeff Bezos, next to Putin. How often does price change on Amazon? And if you're a traditional retailer, you're putting a sticker on it and then maybe changing it when you're trying to give it away on some kind of a sale. But just my own book, it'll vary from $16.54 to $23.45. Not that I don't look at it 10 times a day. And that's significant that we've really moved to a demand-based pricing model. If you look at Uber or Lyft, the traditional taxis charging a single price per eighth of a mile. Maybe there's a surcharge if it's after dark or at the airport, but not Uber and Lyft. They're really using demand-based pricing. They know more about the customer than they know about the supply side.
Right.
And they use that knowledge then to set price. And so first, in terms of pricing, we've got to get out of our head this idea that there's just one price for our product or our service, even in the B2B space. And I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
The second reason we get pricing so wrong is that we sell to people. And I know this comes as a shock, but we discovered that people are not logical. They're psychological.
Right.
And as a result, pricing is not a logical decision. It's a psychological decision. So there I've got to turn to my dear friend, the godfather of influence, Dr. Robert Cialdini. And what Robert did an interesting experiment. You go to a restaurant, they have a wine list like I went to and saw in León, Mexico a couple months ago. And the wine is typically listed least expensive to most expensive. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is reverse the order of that list. You put the most expensive at the top down to the least expensive, and you'll drive on average 26% more revenue. You didn't change the wine. You didn't change your price.
Right.
And then if you anchor that list with some really expensive bottles of wine, you can pull up your revenue as much as 250%. So I go to China every year. About a year ago, November, just before this whole thing broke loose, my book was released in its 19th language, Mandarin or simplified Chinese. Okay. And there was Adrian Wall. Now, Adrian, this YPO, has got a very simple business strategy, a taste of New York and Shanghai. So he gets these iconic brands out of New York City, like Joe's Pizza, that has always lines out the door forever. And he brings them to China. And so he'd been in my workshop the year before that when I'd brought up this idea of reversing the menu. So when I was there a year ago, November, he said, Verne, you got to come out and see my restaurant. I said, all right, I'd love to get a slice of Joe's Pizza. And he said, look at the menu. Said it used to be listed from least expensive vegan to most expensive meat lovers. He said, after I heard you talk, all I did was reverse the order of the menu, started with meat lovers down to vegan, and we didn't get the 26%, but we got 15%.
Okay.
In revenue, didn't change a slice, didn't change the price. And so that's how psychologically important it is that you understand pricing.